up, my mother saw my long blonde hair as her own crowning achievement. It was as if she had been presented with a Mother of the Year award for her daughter's golden, beautiful, bouncy locks. Little did my poor mother know that a lying, lanky bitch named Cher would soon shatter her award-winning world. You see, when I was young, the toys I played with ranged from Barbie penthouse with swimming pool and RV, to Shirley Temple or Holly Hobby dolls, from games like Operation to Simon Says, or one of my favorite, the Arthur Fonzarelli, aka the Fonz doll. I still have that. But the toy that probably made the most impact on my life was my absolutely fabulous Cher doll. It was on par with Barbie, only a bit more edgy. My doll had this feature that put you in charge of how long Cher's hair would be. It could be down to her butt, mid-back, or maybe even in a sassy bob. Cher was a major fashion icon at the time, and I remember it was like a big news story when she decided to cut off all her gorgeous long black locks. This was after she had dumped Sonny, and sadly after the demise of the wonderful Sonny and Cher show, which I'm sure none of you know about. I'm not the only one. I think that's why the Cher doll had this feature that allowed you to pull her hair out if you wanted to play with normal classic Cher, or, push it back in to the hole in the top of her head if you wanted to mix it up. And maybe go with, Indian war braid Cher, or kind of like punk rock hair Cher. The possibilities were really endless with this doll. So I think I was like 5 or 6 when I got the doll, but even at that young age, I knew that a girl's hair, how it looked, the style, the color, it was all really, really important. I would spend hours every night having my own hair twisted into rags by my mother so that she could wake up in the morning and fashion it into perfect curly Q pigtails. So as you can imagine, I spent hours of fun yanking Cher's hair out and letting it cascade over her shoulders down to her perfectly genetically correct butt, and then shoving it back into the top of her hair. I never thought to ask how the doll worked. Perhaps Cher was hollow on the inside. As a young girl, I neither knew nor cared. The only thing I was certain of was that crazy push-and pull-and hair doll was the coolest doll ever. So it was this immense coolness of Cher's that made my mind wonder, what if my hair worked just like Cher's? What if I could change my hair just as easily as Cher? Let's face it, the only real difference when I was a kid between Cher's hair and mine was the color. So with an oblivious exuberance that only exists in childhood, I skipped down to my mother's bedroom, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I honestly believed that I could chop all my hair off and, enjoy wearing it short for a short while, and then somehow take all the cuttings and reattach them back to my head. I hadn't really taken the time to work out exactly how that would happen, but I was sure that I could do it. If Cher could do it, why couldn't I? So I skipped down to my mother's bedroom and got her sewing scissors, which she kept in her sewing kit on the floor next to her bed. And with my hair flowing down my back, because we hadn't yet started the nightly ritual of torturous rag twisting in the name of cuteness, I sat on my parents' bed with the scissors in my hand, and I pulled all my beautiful blonde locks over to one side, held the scissors as close to my scalp as I could, and cut. Since I had just dragged my hair haphazardly to one side of my head without even looking into a mirror, you can imagine how lovely I must have looked as I shouted out for my mother to come and see my hair that looked just like Cher's. I'll never forget the way my mother screamed, "No!" The moment she saw me. She kept repeating the insanely obvious question, "Kimberly, what did you do?" I was confused because I was sure it looked fantastic. And my mother then proceeded to throw her body across her bed in anguish and just scream, "No, no, no!" As she, like she herself had been wounded, as she kept grabbing up the hair into her hand. And I calmly just told her, "Don't worry, Mom. We can just push it back in later. Just like Cher." Guess what? Cher fucking lied. My next fabulous hairstyle was a Dorothy Hamill. So the moral of this story is keep your scissors on a high shelf, out of the reach of small, crazy, imaginative children. And always remember, Cher can't be trusted. Fast forward to 2010, and I am packing up all my parents' possessions after they have both passed away. And I come to a storage bin in the basement, and I open it to find a bunch of school drawings for my brother and I, and some old toe shoes of mine, and hockey awards of his. And at the bottom, I find a bag of hair, a ponytail of hair in a plastic bag. She had kept my beautiful, blonde, award-winning hair for over 30 years. Maybe deep down she wished, just like I did, that she really could push it all back in.